Um, so this is from Saskatoon, I believe today, or Saskatchewan today, whatever case may be. It says Canadian Tire bidding on Hudson's Bay's assets. Sources say uh, the belligerent retailer Hudson's Bay has attracted a bid from Canadian Tire. Two sources familiar with the sale process says. Um, Belligrated retailer Hudson's Bay has attracted a bid from Canadian Tire. Two sources familiar with the sales process say. The sources, who are not being named because they were not authorized to speak about the matter, say the household goods chain has made a bid for some of the faltering department stores' intellectual property. Asked whether the company is making a bid, Canadian Tire did not provide a comment. Anyone interested in owning Hudson's Bay's assets had until 5 p.m. on Wednesday to make a formal bid as part of the retailer's creditor protection court case. Toronto investment manager Urbana Corporation has made a bid for the company's intellectual property, while billionaire BC mall owner Wei Hong Liu has said she would make a pitch to run some Bay stores. The 355-year-old department store's assets hit the sales blocks after Hudson's Bay filed for the creditor protection earlier this year. It began liquidating its 80 Bay stores and 16 it ran under the Sask brand, while it hunted for buyers or investors who would keep the company alive. The company has a wealth of intellectual property, including rights to its famed Stripes brand, discount chain Zellers, housewares brand Gluckstein, apparel line Hudson North, and its distinctly home bed and bath products. Hudson's Bay spokesperson Tiffany Bure declined to comment on potential bidders. Adam Zeliv, managing director at Bay Financial Advisors Reflect Advisors, say multiple bids have been made for the company's assets and are now being evaluated. A source with acknowledgement of the process, who was not authorized to speak on the matter, said a strong mix of recognizable North American businesses, together with financial partners, have expressed interest. Canadian Tire, which owns Sports Check, Party City, Marks, and Pro Hockey Life, fits that description, given it was founded in 1922 and is one of Canada's most iconic retailers with 1,700 stores across its banners. Though it faces the prospect of softening consumer spending, the company is due to get a boost to its balance sheet that could help fund any bid. It announced earlier in the year that it is selling off sportswear business Helly Hansen in almost $1.3 billion to Contour Brands, the U.S. owner of a clothing brands Wrangler, Lee, and Rock and Republic. That deal was expected to close in the second quarter of this year. Canadian Tire will have competition from Toronto investment manager Urbana Group, which wants the Bay's intellectual property, though not its stores. Obviously, we're investing to make money, although I think many people in Canada feel that we have to stand up for Canada to a greater extent, and this is, I think, part of that, said CEO Thomas Caldwell, who was once chairman of the Canadian Securities Exchange. He said his company does not intend to flip any assets it is able to purchase and will thus hold them for the long term. Urbana also wants to bid on the charter through a separate auction the retailer will plan to run with Hefel Gallery to offload thousands of art items and artifacts. Joining Urbana in bidding for the Bay is like to be a billionaire BC mall owner Wang Liu, who has said on social media that she wants to make a pitch to run some Bay stores. Liu, who owns 3 BC shopping centers through investment firm Central Walk, has said on social media that she wants to purchase stores to restore the Bay to its glory. The deadline to make an offer for the Bay's assets come a day ahead of May 1st, the last date anyone who wants to take a lead on its leases has to make a binding bid. And on April 22nd, court filings revealed 18 unnamed parties had submitted letters of intent expressing interest in the total of 65 leases. The filing some said some of the bidders were likely to take part of the sale processes for other Bay's assets. So that's some monumental news there. That a company that's last for 355 years, that's longer than the country of Canada. Just keep that in mind. Hudson's Bay has been around since the trading posts of indigenous people. 355 years. That means it's been around since the formation of Canada, since the Confederation, since Civil Wars, since World War I, since World War II, the Great Depression. So this is a significant piece of history. This is a significant part of Canada as an identity, and that's why I want to cover it, because of just how important an institution like Hudson's Bay really is. And Anna Panic says, "This is killing me. The Hudson's Bay closing its doors is like Canada itself closing down. Farewell to the Canadian iconic company and my favorite place to shop since we moved here in 1994." And they wrote, this is from Hudson's Bay themselves, saying, "Thank you, Canada, for 355 years. Starting today, all Hudson's Bay stores and thebay.com are included in the closing sale. Save up to 70% on almost everything. All sales are final." So this is back when they were officially announcing the shutdown of the Bay, which was a couple months ago. But now it looks like there's some hope. There's a bit of silver lining if Canadian Tire wants to buy it. So this, however, this is what they mean by the intellectual property, because there is a museum in Manitoba all about Hudson's Bay and the many, many, many years it's operated. So as the CBC points out, Hudson's Bay's artifacts, including Royal Charter, can go up for auction, court rules. Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs has asked for the halt to the auction of items that may have profound significance. So this is history. This is documentation. This is going back, again, before even Canada became a country, before Confederation. So there's, hundreds and hundreds of year-old documents and artifacts and a piece of history that they were going to sell off to the highest bidder. And it looks like the First Nations in Manitoba are trying to prevent that. They're trying to prevent that to restore the history so it doesn't just get tucked away by some billionaire that's going to buy it. That it's shown profoundly about one of the most historical institutions of this great nation. So that's some good news on the fact that it's not going to all go away. Unfortunately, it did lead to a bunch of layoffs. Obviously, it led to the closing down of stores, which are going to be vacant. We don't know for sure if they're actually going to take back Hudson's Bay and take back the properties and all the stores, department stores that they own. We don't know what this entails, but it's good to know that a lot of other Canadian businesses, entrepreneurs, billionaires that own shopping malls care about this company that's been around for 355 years. A lot of people wouldn't. And I'm not trying to make a joke about that, but in a lot of cases, companies and investors and people on financial stock trading tend to usually not care about these older institutions. They tend to not usually care and just say, well, it's a dying breed and companies need to pick up the pace. They need to look to the future. We got to invest in tomorrow and not yesterday, as they would say. But I'm not a shareholder, so I don't know what they say. I assume that's what they say. But that's good. That's good that people are actually caring about Hudson's Bay, because again, it's a 355-year-old department store chain that started as Trading Post before Canada was even established. That says a lot. And when they have historical artifacts in a museum that's up for bid, that's why it's so important keep to keep memory and to keep this idea of the Hudson's Bay Company around for generations. Because losing that, it's not just losing a business venture that's going to cost people's jobs. You're losing a part of the Canadian identity. That's why a lot of people are upset, including me, to find this news and why I wanted to cover it.